Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. We broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. through 11 Central Time. If you'd like to call us for this very disturbing special report, this investigative report brought to you by USAPrepares.com, here's the call-in number, 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. If you'd like to share this broadcast with friends and family, here's the listen line number, 605-477-3249. 605-477-3249. That's a listen line. This special report will be very disturbing, as you can tell by my voice. You're going to hear a first-hand experience from a man who has been jailed, imprisoned, tortured, starved, beaten, inhumanely treated by those in charge of a concentration camp. He spent years behind bars. Now you might be wondering, are we talking about Cuba? Guantanamo Bay? Mexico? No. We're talking about a place that I've crossed off my map. It's called Tennessee. I don't want to go to Tennessee because those who go to Tennessee are at risk for having this happen to them. 2-hour special report, just released from jail again, is your USA Prepares instructor, Mike Parsons. Mike, welcome.
Good morning, Vincent.
Mike, I got a call from your wife, Pat Parsons, and she has been on the air with us here at USA Prepares and also on Republic Broadcasting with John Statmiller. And when she called me a couple days ago, I had tears in my eyes as she said, Mike's coming home. And then I got a call from you. Again, tears in my eyes. Class, I'm not exaggerating. Mike Parsons has been through the meat grinder at the hands of employees in the state of Tennessee. Mike, you and I are going to spend 2 hours together today, and I'm going to ask my engineer right now. I don't know if he can do it. He has not heard me ask him, but John, if you can pull out my commercials, just the USA Prepares commercials, not the Genesis commercials, just mine. If you could pull them out and give us more airtime, I would appreciate it. I don't know if you can do it or not. It might be impossible to do that, but if you can, that's my request. Mike Parsons, did I exaggerate on anything that I said in the last couple of minutes?
Not at all. It's a tragedy that most people don't realize just how evil and corrupt the system is. And unfortunately, what we've been led to believe is the corporation, or in Tipton County, Tennessee, there's actually 12 of these corporations posing as branches of government. The jail is a private for-profit jail. The courts are private for-profit courts. They're operating under, the only thing I can determine is Admiralty Maritime, but they refuse to respond. For 8 months, I was out on a $5,000 bond, released from jail, immediately put on a bond for a bogus charge of possession of my wife's guns, which I didn't have. I was out of town, which she has a right to have, locked up in her house for her protection while I'm gone. And I appreciate John Statmiller for allowing her to come on his show. I listened to that, and apparently it wasn't picked up, but my wife clearly did say, no, he didn't have guns. And that's the truth.
Mike, you're breaking. Mike, you're breaking up. Can you repeat that, please?
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. On the show that Mrs. Parsons was on with John Statmiller, she clearly said that no, Mike did not have possession of guns. And I don't know how many people are listeners to this show that listen to John's show, but apparently John didn't pick up on that in his guest. And after she was off the air, and this is only important from the standpoint that I want people to understand, I did not have possession of her guns. I honored my agreement for parole. And even when we had the preliminary hearing back in March, the parole officer admitted, well, no, Mike was never anywhere near the house. The house was locked. Only Miss Parsons opened the house and gave us her guns when we asked them. And of course, the parole agreement is simple. I could not own, possess, or carry. Now, those people that recognize our God-given rights to defend ourselves should understand that my wife doesn't lose any of her rights because I'm forced under coercion and threat of torture to be left in a prison if I don't agree to their extortive measures of limiting my rights to defend myself. So, be that as it may, that was my agreement, not hers. Even the state law in Tennessee recognizes that it's only incumbent upon me to not own or possess. Being in the vicinity of is not an issue. There's nowhere you can go in the country where you're not in the vicinity of guns. And how would you know if you are? You wouldn't. It's not meant to disarm the state, but effectively Tipton County is using it for that purpose, and the average person is ignorant of the law and assumes, and this is the problem people get into trouble with, they assume that laws are certain things that they're really not. Laws that they're going by are their corporate policy called statutes. I was able to get a copy of a document sent to me. This is research that I've been working on for a long time, and I found a source through you, Vincent, that you referred to, Mrs. Parsons. She downloaded the information and sent it to me from the anticorruptionsociety.com. A little document, about 60 pages, called Lawfully Yours. I highly encourage anybody that is not up to speed on this, which is 90% of us, not the USAPreparers.com instructor listeners per se, but the rank and file, please go to this anticorruptionsociety.com, download Lawfully Yours, share it with your friends and family, because it not only articulates this effectively, but gives the sites the resources so that you'll know, number one, your states, your federal government, corporations posing as government. The Bonds v. United States case proves this. The Clearfield Doctrine acknowledges all of this. And these are Supreme Court cases. And in my case, because I did not assume the corporate identity that they're coming after, the Michael Parsons Trust or Corporation, I clearly articulated I'm the live man. They were forced to dismiss the case against me multiple times, and effectively the grand jury's indictment was dismissed. And then when I was brought into the court at General Sessions back in January when I was kidnapped, he called Michael Parsons, and I said, are you calling the Michael Parsons Trust Corporation or Live Man? I'm the Live Man, but I'm not the corporation or trust. And Vincent, if you've got that audio, if you want to play that at some time, people can hear him say, arrest that man, take him to the back. And then he says, I'm putting out a warrant for Mike Parsons because he failed to appear today. So I'm standing there, he arrests me, he sees me, knows I'm there. I've been arrested. But yet he declares, Mike Parsons is not here. That's because the corporation did not appear in the form of a human being stupid enough to accept responsibility, and I wouldn't. And that's the trick. That's how they're coming after us. That's why the Constitution no longer is effective or applies. Vincent?
Mike, let me ask you this. I know the answer to this, and please do not be offended. Class, let me, before I ask Mike this question, I'd like to say that I've invited Mike Parsons to our home, to our farm. He has spent time with me at our farmhouse. He stayed overnight at our farmhouse, as have many of your USA Prepares instructors. I've traveled with Mike Parsons in my truck over 1,000 miles. We have done things together. We've looked at farms together. We've done things. He's helped me buy the materials for our barn that you might have heard me talk about. All that being said, I'm going to ask him this question just so you can hear it firsthand. And by the way, I really like Mike Parsons. He's the kind of friend that most of you would like to have. And that's the kind of friend he is to me. Mike Parsons, please do not be offended. I just want our broadcast class to hear this. Are you a criminal?
No. No.
Should you have been treated, arrested, jailed, tortured, beaten, have your ribs broken, starved? Did you deserve even 1% of that?
I didn't deserve that, nor should anyone deserve anything. And the presumption of innocence, that's a myth. They treat you as though you're guilty until proven innocent. And we'll get more into that on the other side. You won't believe what I witnessed.
Class, 2-hour special today. And if you'd like to call us, and if you'd like to ask questions, 866-582-9933. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm, Principal Office in Houston, Texas, is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Hi, this is Ron Paul. I'm a former 22-year congressman and Republican presidential candidate. I'm here to tell you about something that just might save your lives. You never know when there will be another Katrina, an economic collapse, or a serious drought. We should all have a little food storage that will carry us through tough times. I'm going to tell you about a great way to do that. A U.S. company named Harvest Right has a kitchen appliance that can help you be prepared. It's a home freeze dryer. With the product, you can preserve the foods your family loves. And the best part is the food will last 25 years and still taste great. I've tried it and it's amazing. With a home freeze dryer from Harvest Right, you can literally freeze dry anything you eat, even things like ice cream. To learn more, call Harvest Right today at 800-594-4635 or go to harvestright.com. That's 800-594-4635 or harvestright.com.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
Class Mike Parsons is with us, and we're talking about torture in the United States of America. Mike, before we talk about the presumption of innocence, how many times have you been arrested?
Prior to moving to Tipton County, never.
Okay. Since you moved to Tipton County, Tennessee, how many times have you been arrested?
Hold on, I'm still counting. About 8 times.
You've been arrested 8 times. How many times have you been jailed?
Each time I was falsely charged and either had to put up a bond or I was held until bond. But each time I was there until I put up a ransom to be released. And each
so that's
time,
8 times.
Each time it was because I called the cops reporting criminal activity against me and my family.
Never call 911, right? Mike?
No. No.
Are you saying never call 911? I'm saying never call 911. Are you in agreement with that?
Well, let me say this. When I lived in Memphis, when I was in the Bartlett, Tennessee area, I never had a problem. I literally, according to one guy that knew me from church that was a Bartlett cop, he said, Mr. Parsons, if you sped 100 miles down the road on the main street, we wouldn't pull you over to arrest you. We would pull you over to find out what can we do to help you because we know you're doing it for a valid reason. And these people that know me, and this is the thing, those people that know me and know my character know that I only do things to help my fellow man. I've been doing this my whole life. I'm plugged into why my Creator put me here. I'm just a gardener in the garden trying to, be the caretaker of that garden and effectively have been forced to become the police of the police in Tipton County because they are so far corrupted. They are truly a backwoods mafia, and the people that are here are so afraid. They're chilled. Everybody is chilled through the extortive methods of the corrupt system and in jail, except for me. I found not a single person who was not willing to falsely accuse his fellow jail inmate of something if they could get a benefit. You would see routinely guys being charged for things that didn't happen and get additional time. And those people that actually did stuff, the actual extortionists, the actual guys that were assaulting people, and I witnessed one guy almost being killed, and if not for me pushing the button when I observed it to call the guards, the young man would have been dead. They were going to kill him. There was a
You're
hit
talking
put out
about
on him.
You're talking about murder within the prison.
Yeah, within the Tipton County Jail, the same guy that attacked me without any provocation or notice or any reason, I witnessed beating the heck out of a young man. He had been accused of a crime, and one of the guys in the jail didn't like it, and he called his wife and went on something called Mobile Patrol, which is a website, and they looked up this guy's charge, his name, Robert Andrew Lyle, or Lyle Andrew Robert. He's probably still there. After listening to him and his friends, they said it's a bogus charge. This guy had been in there for almost 6 months, but all of a sudden, this guy that didn't like him puts out what they call a honey bun hit. In other words, he tells these gangbangers, I'll give you a honey bun. We're talking about a sweet cake if you would just beat the guy up. And, oh, I'll put $20 on your books. The guy's wife put $20 on these guys' books. And this 140-pound, 19-year-old skinflint was held and beaten mercilessly by these roughly 25-year-old black gangbangers who averaged 225 pounds, and they could walk onto any college football team's starting lineup and play. These guys were very athletic, very capable of defending themselves, but yet they were predators. And when I heard the commotion, I saw everybody looking in the window. I walked up to this room. This guy's on protective custody, and the jailers put him in with gangbangers who had been locked down for 2 months because they'd had a brawl inside the jail. And so they put him in there, the jailers did, knowing the threat. And these guys are, what I saw was him being held, his head limped over, and blood flowing out of his mouth. And I went and hit the button. And at that time, another inmate said, "Don't hit the button." I said, "They're killing him."
Hold that thought.
Anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Here's Dr. Paul Meyer, Christian psychiatrist, author of 85 books, and founder of the national chain Meyer Clinics, to tell you about To Your Health liquid vitamins.
I've been taking these every day for over a decade now, and I try to encourage every one of my clients to take them every day. And there's a number of reasons. First of all, it's the best vitamins you can get. It's got dozens of vitamins, antioxidants, and nutrients in it. And then the most important reason why I do it as a psychiatrist and recommend it to my patients is because it's got brain food in it. It's got the essential amino acids. It's got tryptophan, phenylalanine, tyrosine, choline, vitamin B6, and these chemicals that are all natural from food turn into the brain chemicals that make you happy.
To Your Health is delicious. Find out more today. Call us 800-801-3459 or visit online at mytoyourhealth.com. Use the coupon code RADIO15 for a 15% discount on your order. That's mytoyourhealth.com.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, We've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 pain relief hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 pain hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Plus, Mike Parsons is with us, USA Preparedness instructor. I've known Mike Parsons for years. And, Mike, let me see if I've got this right. I believe you were saying that you saw a small-framed young man, roughly 120 pounds, being beaten, almost or just short of murdered in jail by some very large men, twice his size. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's probably about 140 pounds. He's 19. He was just basically a kid out of high school who didn't have a job, did drugs a little bit, and his parents kicked him out of the house. This is according to him and two other people that were his friends that were also in the jail. And they said he was living with a friend who was also doing drugs, and the woman there had a child who was 3 years old, and she was being basically sought out by Child Protective Services because she had a known drug history. And she had tried to point the finger at him when, in fact, she had tried to conceal a little baggie of drugs, I'll just say, inside of her 3-year-old daughter. And as this guy's sleeping on the couch and the Child Protective Services shows up at the door wanting to see the child, the mom breaks out in hysterics, says, "Oh, what did you do to my child?" And the young man's just, there sleeping on the couch because he didn't have a roof to crawl underneath to hide from the elements. Has no place to go. Thinks this is a friend. He's accused of sexually molesting a 3-year-old child. And they did the DNA after his arrest. They did all this stuff and came back with absolutely nothing. But yet he's been held in the jail now going on a year. And everybody there kind of knows the guy's charged and knows he's being railroaded, but yet one guy thought that it was his duty to punish this guy by paying off these black thugs. And, you know, it doesn't matter if they're black or white, but they were black, and there's 5 of them, and they're thugs, they're gangbangers, and they're literally somewhere between 225 and 250, physically capable of walking on and competing on any college football team, if not pro football team. These guys did nothing but exercise all day long. And they were thieves. They would steal people's food, extort people, and, you know, if they didn't get what they wanted, then they would beat the heck out of people. Well, this guy was locked up in the room. The guards had him on protective custody for several months. And after the fight in the jail where 15 of these gangbangers were going at it, 2 different rival gangs, they locked all of those guys down. And they put him in there with them because he was on protective custody, and they just needed a place to put somebody who was in protective custody. Well, that was the problem. And then when I heard the commotion, I'm sitting there in the pod reading, and I hear all the scuffling, and everybody's looking in the window. I walked over, and I could see this guy literally unconscious, and I hit the button. And the guy that yelled at me, consequently, you know, saying, let him kill him, I said, dude, you're in here for the same charge that he's in for. Do you want him to do that to you? Well, he got quiet real quick. In that jail, there's probably 4 guys in that pod. There's like 4 pods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pods. In the pod that I was in, there's 4 guys that had child molestation charges. Of course, they didn't want to talk about that, but, you know, it's okay for them to kill this other guy. And later that night, of course, I hit the button. They came and got him, took him out, took him to the ER, and he survived. Broken ribs, they knocked out 3 of his teeth, which they've done nothing to help him with. He has no access to legal counsel. His family basically believes the lie. And here's the problem. People have been brainwashed into believing whatever the, quote, authorities or the government tells you. And certainly people are naive in that respect. They just don't know. And you got to wake these people up no matter what. You got to wake them up. That's, if nothing else, this is a wake-up call to everybody that is involved with trying to straighten out the system or expose this corruption. This is what can happen to you. And to the degree that I can expose this, you know, I'm standing as long as I can. Vincent, you heard my voice Friday and the weakness in it. And if anybody doesn't know the sound of my voice, can't distinguish whether I'm normally sounding this way or not, go back to December 1st in the archives for USAPrepares.com, December 1st, hour number 1, and then go to December 18th, 2015, hour number 1. Those are 2 of the last interviews that I had on this program. Listen to my voice then and compare it to what you hear today, and you'll hear the difference. I'm 55 years old. I was 195 pounds when I went into the jail. No body fat. I've got a farm. I work. I'm physically fit, and I lost 25 pounds. Well, I didn't have 25 pounds of fat. That was all muscle and organ tissue. And I look like a skeleton, literally. My mom, she had a hard time seeing me in visitation because of how poorly I look. I have not seen the sun in 5.5 months. I've been denied access outside. I've been denied access to proper nutrition. We're being starved. Everyone there is being starved. I've been denied access to legal mail, legal books, any confidential access to legal counsel over the phone. I'm naturopathic in my ministry and my religion. I'm Native American. I followed Christ my whole life, but I subscribe to my native ways, which is what basically are biblical as they can be. And they denied me my nutritional supplements, even though the top jailer agreed. He did the research and found out I was a ordained minister in the Native American church, and that this was a recognized religion, and that, so forth. But the guy over him, the administrator, just under the sheriff, stopped it. I was forced to sleep on a concrete floor, ongoing, for this entire time, in a room designed for 4 people where we had 8. And because the jail was constantly overcrowded, well, if you're the last in the room, you sleep on the floor on a 1-inch thick concrete or 1-inch thick foam mat. And as a result of the ongoing exposure to the chemicals that they mopped the floor with, I had upper respiratory infections that became a chemical pneumonia. And in the middle of April, I lost my voice, and for 3 weeks I couldn't speak. My voice is still not right from that exposure. But then I guess the coup de grace was when the guy that attacked that young man, one of them, attacked me without provocation and just came up and blindsided me, dazed me, and all I could do was cover up. He knocked me down and started kicking me in the head and the back and my side and broke 3 of my ribs. I was taken to the ER, and the ER doctor refused to do anything except x-rays, and I said, "Sir, I don't use radiation." I said, I described to him the first aid treatment. Put your hand on my ribs, feel as I breathe in and out. You can feel them going pop, pop, pop. Put your stethoscope here and listen. You can hear it pop, pop, pop as I breathe. I said, listen to my chest cavity to see if I've got any fluid drainage, to know if I've got a punctured chest cavity. Listen to my lungs to see if I've got a punctured lung, to see if there's any fluid draining in there. Do this for me. I need your help. He says, nope, you've refused my care. Take him back to the jail. I received no treatment except the nurse who understood what I was talking about. I said, "Sir, I need a large ace bandage to immobilize my ribs." As I'm walking out the door, he brought me one. And I kind of got the impression I wasn't supposed to tell anybody.
Mike?
Yeah.
Where was this alleged treatment? What institution? Can you say?
This is the Baptist Hospital of Tipton County, and the doctor is Istanbuli. And Dr. Istanbuli bowed up like he was fixing to have a fit because I asked him to do an MRI, an ultrasound, or better yet, just put your hand there and feel. Just do what you do if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you had a stethoscope, you didn't have an x-ray machine. He wanted me to be exposed to harmful radiation. And I have extensive training in the effects of radiation from when I was a hazardous material specialist with Federal Express, when I was in management back in the 90s, and including, over the years of listening to experts on this show and others talk about the lack of need for radiation and how you can use the MRIs and other means to do the same thing without harming your body. And we all have learned that the chemo, radiation, and other treatments for cancer are not the way to go. And so I know this, they don't. In the jail, when I was taken back, I was forced to lay flat on a concrete slab. They refused to give me the ability to be inclined so I could get up. So I laid there from December 29th at 6 p.m. until Tuesday, June the 1st at noon, when the doctor finally came in. The guards would come by routinely saying, "Well, Mr. Parsons, had you had an x-ray, you would have been all better by now," as though an x-ray is curative. And then they said, "Well, Mr. Parsons, you don't have broken ribs because you didn't have an x-ray." So even though I know I've got broken ribs, I don't have broken ribs in their world. So they just ignored me. And because I couldn't get up, when they bring the food to me, they put it at the foot of the concrete slab I was laying on. "There's your food." And of course I'd say, "I can't reach it, help me up." Nope, not going to do that. Breakfast tray's there till noon. At noon they bring me a lunch tray. "Why didn't you eat? Mr. Parsons is refusing food. He's refusing to eat." I said, "Please help me up. I need to go to the bathroom." Nope. 5 o'clock they bring you the bologna sandwich that you get every day at 4:30 to 5. And again, this went on for 2 days. I'm like most people, I can only hold my bladder for so long. We'll pick it up on the other side, but...
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? ReputationDefender.com can help protect your good name. Get a free consultation now. Call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from ReputationDefender.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com today.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University is the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 100 highly ranked degree programs 100% online. You'll earn the same degree as you would on campus, from wherever you are, on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. For information, call 1-800-933-1430. Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates, and why 90% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU Online degrees, call 1-800-933-1430. That's 1-800-933-1430.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Class, if you're wondering why I'm so quiet today, it's because of the gravity of the situation. There's torture going on right here in the United States of America. And we're specifically talking about Tipton County, Tennessee, where Mike Parsons, USA Preparedness instructor, has been beaten, tortured, inhumanely treated. Mike, this is not something that you've read about. This is something that happened to you over and over again. You've been mistreated for years. By the way, Mike, what is your alleged crime? What are they saying that you did?
They're accusing me of possession of weapons, which is a Class C felony, and the average person that is charged with this, the charges are reduced, and they usually get about 6 months in jail. I've watched at least no less than 5 guys charged with various crimes, including possession of the weapons, have the possession charges dropped down, and they get time served, and they're released. One guy actually had
possession of
charge. Go ahead.
Possession of weapons. What does that mean? What are they saying that you did? My understanding is that you were shot at and you were trying to defend yourself.
Yeah, the original charge back from 2007, aggravated assault, stems from a unprovoked assault by a friend of the county executive who was mad that I was suing the county executive because when I ran for office and won, and the election commission manager who the county executive appointed rigged the outcome of the election by just flipping the votes, and I found out how they did it, and I sued. He was mad about that, so he shot at me and my wife and shot and killed our dog, Brandy. And, testified. He said, yeah, I shot into the uninhabited wooded area across the street, and I crossed the street to get a better shot at the wolves, and he's shooting indiscriminately into our property at me and Pat, and I'm yelling. He admitted, and if you go to the universalsupremecourt.com website and read the reasons for judgment, the Chief Justice did an excellent job of surmising all of this, and she actually surmises that this guy should be brought up on charges of attempted first-degree murder because when he's shooting, knowing that we're there, he admitted that in court. He knew we were there. After he said, yes, I stopped and looked. I heard him yell, stop shooting. I heard him fire the shot, and then I kept shooting. The guy is a thug, but he's protected by the backwoods mafia. This is a crime syndicate that has to be exposed and has to be stopped. And unfortunately, all the calls to Nashville from my mother have ended with the same thing. Well, we're sorry, but that's a private jail. It's a private court. We have no jurisdiction. How can a court or jail exist in this state and a municipality function without the agreement of the state, which is overseeing all of them? They're all subcorporations of the parent corporation, state of Tennessee, who's a subcorporation of the United States government. I'm looking at the incorporation papers for the United States government from 1925, where they filed incorporation papers in Florida. Of course, I'm familiar with the Act of 1871, where they shelved the original Constitution and the organic government ceased to exist. People aren't taught this. They don't know this stuff. And in my case, because I'm exposing it and I'm demonstrating how we, the people, can effectively back these people off. I had the charges dropped. I had the indictment dismissed. And then, well, they just proceeded on, even though they know that I'm the live man. I'm not the corporation. I clarified that. Did you ever listen to the audio recording?
Mike, I'm trying to get that ready for hour number 2.
Well, you'll clearly hear what this judge says, but the fact is, our country's been hijacked, and in every little burb and municipality, they're all posing as government, but they're not. They're Walmart, and no different. Walmart can't just pick you up off the street and take you back to their stockroom and hold you indefinitely and starve you and then prosecute you and send you to work in their Walmart warehouse or their Chinese factory outlet in a discrete location and manufacture their goods for the consumer. This is tyranny, folks. This is high crimes, misdemeanors, and treason against we the people. We are the sovereigns. Go to Bonds versus United States, 2000 case. The Supreme Court recognizes...
Mike Parsons, hold that thought. Class, we're going to be back for hour number 2. And I've authorized the re-airing of this program.
Pick up bugs, worms, raise crickets for food. Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. This is the second hour of a special investigative report. It's only heard here on USA Prepares. This is a first-hand experience from a man who has been jailed, imprisoned, tortured, starved, beaten, inhumanely treated by those in charge of a concentration camp in the United States of America. It's in Tennessee. This man has spent years behind bars. We're talking with a man whom I know, who's been at our farm, who's spent time with our family, who's been in the truck with me, who's traveled to events. This is a man I know. This is a man who helped me get the materials for the barn that you've heard me talk about that we built right here on our farm. Used materials. This is a man who has been branded as a convicted felon. And when the government says you're a convicted felon, most people believe it. Because they're naive, ill-informed. They've been conditioned to believe that the government's right. Well, here you're learning that the government's not right. Michael Parsons is with us, and I've asked GCN to rebroadcast this broadcast on Independence Day. That's Monday, July 4, 2016. And my question to you is, do you think you're independent from tyranny and treason? And do you think you're free? Well, you're not if you're in a private jail, private court, nor a private prison. And when I lived in Virginia, our county administrators were so impressed with the private prison and having a private prison in our little hamlet that they wanted to have one. Our town fathers wanted to have one. They lost their minds. This is slave labor. here in the United States of America. If it's not in your hamlet, it might be coming to your hamlet. This needs to be stopped here and now. Michael Parsons, before you talk about how long you can hold your bladder, at one time were you a broadcaster?
I was for a little over 2 years.
Michael Parsons, are you a pilot?
I've been licensed as a pilot since 1990.
What kind of planes are you licensed to fly?
Well, the license is just a license, and you get checked out and certified on different types, and literally anything that's a single-engine land, I'm qualified or capable of being checked out in. I was working on my ratings and hours to become a pilot for Federal Express while I was working there, and I was flying for the Air Force through their Civil Air Patrol and doing their various missions from disaster relief to U.S. Customs to counter-narcotics back in the early 90s, back when we could fly anywhere in the state of Arkansas except Mena, Arkansas. And there was the alphabet that would fly with us, and of course you got white hats and black hats, good guys and bad guys, and the guys that were flying with me apparently were the good guys. I had the option to fly or not fly, and I felt like what we were doing, exposing how the sheriffs in many counties in Arkansas were literally framing farmers, planting, pot plants on their farm, might have 1,000 acres of corn, and they'd plant half a dozen pot plants out in the middle of the field or along a creek bank, go in, seize the pot, arrest the farmer, and say, Mr. Farmer, we're going to take your land and put you in prison for life unless you give up the land. So the farmers called the congressman. The congressman got with the Air Force and the National Guard, and they devised a way to have surveillance done of these farms that were hijacked by the sheriffs, and effectively flying over, we did the ability that what otherwise legally couldn't be done under posse comitatus, because I'm a volunteer, got paid absolutely nothing, was able to spot these sheriffs running their pot plants on the farms that they'd confiscated, and they were effectively arrested, and the land was taken back, and from what I understand, in virtually all cases, the farmers got their lands back. And that's we taking care of people. That's us taking care of us. That's holding the corrupt system accountable.
Michael Parsons, let me make sure I heard this correctly. Are you saying that there are sheriffs, the highest constitutional officer elected in the state of Arkansas, who have planted marijuana plants on farms, then arrested the farmers for having marijuana plants on the farms that the sheriffs planted so that they could threaten the farmer and steal the land from the farmer? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what was going on. Even the fellow that charged and arrested me in this bogus charge of possession of guns, he no longer is a deputy. He himself was fired because he got caught because some individual had surveillance security equipment in their home, and when he planted drugs, they got him on video. Oh, and this guy that charged me that's no longer a sheriff's deputy in Tipton County because he got caught planting evidence, well, one of the guys that spent time with me in the jail was a guy that did drugs with him only a month ago. So this guy does drugs, and he frames people, and in Shelby County he was actually arrested for DUI. But yet he'll pop up someplace else when they need him. They use these people. They typically will have within their ranks, in most sheriff's departments, at least around here, a certain number of people that will do anything they're told. They're send-outs. Just like gangs, these things like the gangs, or the gangs run their operations like the police department. Either way, it's all the same. They get the job done one way or the other. Just like the alphabet crew has white hats and black hats. They have the front men that are out there, you know, with the white hat, and then behind the scenes they got the black hats doing all the dirty work. So that's what we're dealing with. We have an organized criminal syndicate posing as government. They're corporations. They're no different than Walmart. They're leading us down a path of destructions. In Tipton County, they're balancing the books through the jail. They don't make enough through property taxes because there's virtually no industry paying into property taxes to pay for government. So they're running the jail as a profit operation, and they're running people through. Realize the judge gets a percentage of the bond. He gets a paycheck from every conviction. It's called a Chris Fund. It's down in Texas where they keep the money. They profit off of this. And when I go from a $5,000 bond, which I was only required to pay $500 because I didn't have the $5,000 cash, or I would have put that up so I could get the money back, they brought me up to an $85,000 bond because I'm a flight risk or I'm a threat to the community, according to them, when there's nothing in the record to support that. Only because when they found out that the Chilcotin Nation had tried to get me to come up there to help them in getting their children back, and I'd had experience in fighting to get children back in this part of the country, and they didn't want that. And so the Canadian government, I believe, and the United States government wanted to lock me down so I couldn't help these people. Because why would you take a guy that's got a Class C felony charge, which effectively, if all things are right, the most he could get is 2 years in prison.
Hey, Mike, excuse me. Would you continue talking for the next couple of minutes? I've got a helicopter circling the farm right now. I need to find out what's going on. Okay, please continue.
Sure, I'll talk. Thank you. The fact is that these people are criminals running a business, and in order for the Canadian government to continue to draw $250,000 per child that they kidnap from the Chilcotin Nation, they got to make sure that they don't have anybody in their arena helping them. And so effectively, when I popped up on the radar, oops, we don't want that guy up here. And so I told the court, it's like, yeah, they want me to come up there, and I need to reschedule this preliminary hearing or this General Sessions appearance for a week later. Well, they didn't want to hear that, and they arrested me, accusing me of not being there, even though I'm standing right there. And hopefully Vincent will be able to play that audio. But the fact is that I was railroaded for exposing corruption in government in Tipton County, a rigged election. I found out how they did it. Before the election, I actually was instrumental in uncovering how in Shelby County they had rigged elections, and I found a solution and reported it. I didn't get any credit for it, but they knew that I was on to them. They didn't like that. This is what happens when you stand up and speak out. So this is not something that everybody will want to take on. But you have to determine if you're going to live as a slave or if you're going to live free, and realize whatever you leave your children, we're only in this predicament because our family didn't know what was going on or chose not to know what was going on. Most of the people right now, as the book Brave New World spoke of by Aldous Huxley, they're going to take us over through pharmacology and psychology. Well, in the pod of 34 men that I was in, no less than 20 of these men were there on heroin-related charges, possession, use, distribution, whatever. All these people are doped up, and they've been brainwashed into believing the lie. It's time to wake up. It's time to reject the drugs, stand in honor, and take back our country.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958-9859. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9859. Call 1-800-958-9859. 1-800-958-9859.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the highest quality body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers rifle thread rated armor up to level 4 and now introducing trauma pads. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water filter for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey Guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
There is an affordable alternative to the high cost of healthcare that offers freedom from insurance while providing compliance with the Obamacare individual mandate. Imagine having access to quality, affordable healthcare that allows you the freedom to choose your doctor and hospital. Members can share up to 100% of necessary medical expenses, including some alternative treatments. Find out how you and your family can contain healthcare costs without giving up your freedom. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
For our friends in Tipton County, Tennessee, I just want you to know that right now, this particular broadcast is number 2 on the world's largest alternative radio network. It's being covered in the United States, Canada, Central America. It's covered in North Africa, Europe, and the Middle East on satellite. It's on AM, FM, and YouTube, and a telephone listen line. Currently, number 21 out of over 100 broadcasts on TalkStream Live. Number 2 on the world's largest alternative radio network. Number 2 on the 4th largest network in the United States of America. So, for our friends who are listening in Tennessee, those people who are interested in anybody listening, I just want to let you know. That's how it's going. Mike, you talked about your bladder. Let's share that.
Well, it brings to mind just briefly the old Verizon commercial. These people are concerned about me exposing their corruption. All I can say for you is this. Can you hear me now? Regarding the bladder issue.
Yeah. They can hear you now. That's for sure. And by the way, Mike, I'd like to make an offer to those who are perpetrating this corruption. If you are harmed in any way going forward, we will be relentless in exposing it. We will be relentless. AM, FM, YouTube, satellite, Facebook, every way you can think of to make sure that the people who have committed these crimes, treason, these traitors, get the full credit for everything they've done. Names, addresses, homes, front door, family. They need to get the full credit for what they've done. Just want to make sure that they understand what's at stake here. Please continue.
And Vincent, I want to thank you for doing the yeoman's job that you've done to help in exposing this information to the public and the world. The fact that I did receive a few letters while locked up. I want to thank the sailors. I want to thank the diver without giving his name out because I don't know that I have that ability. But a listener to your program who's a diver from Ohio, I want to thank him for that letter. I did respond with a letter. I sent it out to go out to you. Don't know if it's been sent out yet. But I thank the people that kept me in their prayers. My friends, I know I was protected on more than one occasion. Let's just say by God's creation. And certainly, if you're a people of faith, do not neglect to exercise the power of prayer. Prayers are answered. No, I was not protected from the torture. I was allowed to survive the torture. That was the prayers that were put out, and those were the prayers that were answered. Now, for nearly 40 hours from 6 p.m. on May the 29th until June the 1st at noon, I was allowed to lay on a concrete slab without the assistance to be able to... I couldn't raise myself up. I could not get up. I was laying there with 3 broken ribs and cuts and bruises and contusions to my head and neck, beat to a pulp. And I can defend myself, folks. I had competed in martial arts for about 10 years as a black belt, didn't go any higher, but that's back when my son was young and we were doing this father-son thing. I know how to defend myself, but when somebody comes up behind you and hits you from the back, dazes you, it's kind of hard to recover, especially when they've got a fist like a skillet and you're not expecting it. But be that as it may, I was required to lay there. No one would help me. Then when finally the jail doctor came in, Dr. Crown, he said, "What's going on with this fella?" I said, "Doc, I've been here since 6 p.m. Friday. I need to get up and use the bathroom. Please help me. I've already peed on myself once. Please help me." And I told him what to do, and he listened without bowing up and taking an attitude. I said, "Put your fist in the middle of my back. Come up a little right there. Someone stand above me and let me grab your arms. Now you push up while I pull, and when I scream out with pain, don't stop, just keep going." And they helped me raise it up. And once I was in a seated position, I had virtually no pain. I was in the proper position that I needed to be. I said, "Doc, I need to be elevated, and I need turmeric immediately." That's what he allowed, until the nurse stopped it.
Mike, I'm going to ask you when we come back, is there anyone who has a sense of humanity?
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
There's nothing more enticing and intoxicating than the finest meat cooking on an open flame. Freeze-dried meat from newharvest.com is U.S. grown, 100% all natural with no extra fillers. Just grass-fed beef and free-range chicken guaranteed to stay fresh and delicious. Add New Harvest freeze-dried meats to your current food storage. You'll buy direct from the factory, not a third party, ensuring the best price and the highest quality. See all our products at newharvestfoods.com. That's NUharvestfoods.com.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a select quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Here's Dr. Paul Meyer, Christian psychiatrist, author of 85 books, and founder of the national chain Meyer Clinics, to tell you about To Your Health liquid vitamins.
I've been taking these every day for over a decade now, and I try to encourage every one of my clients to take them every day. And there's a number of reasons. First of all, it's the best vitamins you can get. It's got dozens of vitamins, antioxidants, and nutrients in it. And then the most important reason why I do it as a psychiatrist and recommend it to my patients is because it's got brain food in it. It's got the essential amino acids. It's got tryptophan, phenylalanine, tyrosine, choline, vitamin B6, and these chemicals that are all natural from food turn into the brain chemicals that make you happy.
To Your Health is delicious. Find out more today. Call us 800-801-3459 or visit online at mytoyourhealth.com. Use the coupon code Radio15 for a 15% discount on your order. That's mytoyourhealth.com.
Class Mike Parsons is with us. Mike, the audio that I've tried to play is so distorted that it's not something that we can even listen to. And I'm wondering, where did you get that recording? Mike, are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. Vincent, I can't tell you where I got that.
Where did that recording come from, Mike? Because you can't, it's not really intelligible.
That recording was made inside the courtroom, but I can't tell you the source of that for the protection of how it was made available.
I got it. I understand.
But if you've got a way to upload it to Mr. Marvin,
I'm going to try to. I will try to. Well, Ed's going to be here today. Ed's on his way here, And we'll talk about that when he arrives. But I'll try to play it right now. I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Here you go.
Are you calling the Michael Parsons Trust? Are you calling the Michael Parsons Trust? I'm calling Michael Wayne Parsons now. Michael Wayne Parsons is trying to step up in front of me in a few minutes. I need to arrest Michael Wayne Parsons. Okay. Well, I'm the live man. I'm not the trust. I'm just trying to make that clear for the court. I'm calling Michael Wayne Parsons to appear in front of the court, step up to the podium. Michael Wayne Parsons,
Okay, I just wanted you to hear that it's really, really hard to understand. Maybe we can process that and play that at another time.
Hey, Vincent, I've got it on my computer. Can I let you listen to my computer?
Sure, go ahead.
Let's try this. Listen up, folks.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, we can't understand it, so just bring that down, okay? We'll try to play it at another time. Mike, I'm looking at a headline that says here, Mexico, this is a report today from France24.com. It says here, Mexico City, Mexico police and armed forces routinely torture and mistreat women, sometimes using sexual violence during arrest, interrogation. Does that happen in jail today? And now I know you were in a men's prison, but are men raped?
It's not frequent, but occasionally it happens, and it's usually gang-related. When I was in the prison, it was extremely rare, but it was usually gang-related. There was one guard in the Tipton County Jail who was fired because he got a couple of the female inmates pregnant. And
are you talking about corruption by the people who have been hired as employees of the prison?
Oh yes, and Judge Lanier, who was a former judge in Dyer County, was fired because he was impregnating and extorting many of the women into providing him sexual favors in exchange for leniency on sentencing. And let me reiterate, if a person hasn't read the reasons for judgment where I was exonerated by the Universal Supreme Court, if they go to the universalsupremecourt.org and they pull up file U as in uniform -15-30, I'm sorry, U-15-6030, they can read this, and it breaks down the 1,200-page transcript and shows the conspiracy of the court system to ignore the law and ignore the facts in the case and ignore the testimony that demonstrates that we were attacked without provocation and that I was ordered to be by a judge who then found probable cause on his own order and railroaded me into prison. All judges who were on the ballot of the election I was suing to overturn, where they had a financial interest in my motion to recuse them, my motion for change of venue, all of my motions were denied. So people will say, well, you should have gone, how they put it, something boogie in the administrative. Well, you don't realize that in Tennessee, the courts have given themselves discretion so they can pick and choose which rules and codes they apply because it's a corporate system. And if you go down their corporate system, you lose. If they want you to lose, you lose. End of discussion. And this issue about, well, you got a one-time, you can get rid of a judge, not in Tennessee. And that's a fact. You can't get out from underneath a court. If that court wants you, it's a full-on assault from a corporation posing as government. And anybody that goes to the anticorruptionsociety.com and pulls up Lawfully Yours, they'll read about it. They'll see the evidence and the cases, the Clearfield Doctrine, which acknowledges the United States as a corporation. I'm sitting here looking at the incorporate papers for the United States government, stated Tennessee as a corporation. On Dun and Bradstreet, there's no less than it's either 3 or 12 different corporations for Tipton County. They're running layer upon layer of corporations, and In the constitutional world, the thing that trumps the Constitution is contract law. And if you contract with these people, you're doomed. And that's why the day that I was arrested, I was supposed to be on USA Prepares with John Regan, and John Regan and I was going to expose how not only did I get the charges dropped, dismissed, but the indictment dismissed. How hard is it to get an indictment dismissed? Well, the fact is that I never consented to their offer to engage in contract. I kept asking them in the form of court. They refused to tell me. In what court would they not want to tell you the form of court? In an admiralty court, because once it's exposed, all you got to do is say, where's the international contract I've signed? There is none. Oops, move to dismiss. Had they said it was a constitutional common law court, the Second Amendment right to bear arms shall not be infringed, move to dismiss. All right, equity court, okay, show me the injured party. Okay, all these different courts have various mechanisms by which I can undo what they're doing, but until they disclose the form of court, I can't proceed. And that's what stopped it all. They dare not expose the form of court. And here's the thing, that can pick and choose the form on the fly. And if you don't know, they're not going to tell you. It's a rigged game, and you can't call the cops because the cops are part of the game. And you mentioned earlier, or asked, was there any good guys on the inside? Yeah, there's a few, but unfortunately most of them, to a degree, they're going to do what they're told because they want a paycheck. And when I ran for office, I was working to get Toyota to bring a truck plant to the county and other good-paying jobs, and I was going to eliminate eminent domain, Agenda 21. Couldn't call it Agenda 21 in 2006 because nobody knew what that was, and it would glaze over. But when I talk about preventing them from taking your property, preventing them from running things through your farm and your land that you want to keep and pass on to your family, they understood that. They just didn't understand Agenda 21 or smart growth at that time. And I couldn't explain it to them. You just don't have the time. Didn't have the money, didn't have the means, and they weren't going to listen. But when you talk about preserving what they've got that's passed down through their family, they listen. And that's why I wanted a landslide, because people like the idea of more jobs and security and keeping what they own and having a less intrusive government. Well, come to find out, it's a rigged game. The elections are rigged. The courts are rigged. And short of the blessings of my Creator and the protection that was provided, I wouldn't have been here, because the reality is I believe that the assault on me was because I was privy to a confession of murder by one of the inmates who told me how he sold heroin to a young lady who died of an overdose. He said, well, she thought she was getting 0.5 of a gram. Well, I gave her 0.8 of a gram. And oops, I'm the one that cut it with fentanyl. And this, you know the effect of fentanyl. In the last 3 months, they've had 4 or 5 people die in this county alone from heroin overdose. They get these people on Oxycontin and these other pain relievers, and when they run out of more, well, there's heroin out there. And otherwise, unbeknownst to them, these people are getting themselves hooked on this drug, which they're getting from the streets, which in many respects is coming from the cops who are fighting it through the courts and through the county. And of course, with a sheriff who's got 2 Humvees with turret-mounted 50 caliber machine guns and an HRAP, what's he planning on doing? Going to war against the people of Tipton County? It would appear. You can't wait for them to come to your doorstep. If you don't wake up and take back what little country you've got, one by one, they take you down, one by one. It's like a chess game. My wife acknowledged that what she witnessed me doing battle with this judge is that he would ask a question, I would respond with a question. It's like a chess match, and nobody wants to budge. We're blocking and blocking constantly. Well, sometimes you're blocking, and sometimes you're on the offense. You have to learn how to play chess. This is no longer checkers 101. This is coming after you and your family. If you care anything about your family, you'll do the research that I'm suggesting, find out what's going on, and then engage in some capacity. Because effectively, you're the target. It's like the Trading with the Enemy Act. We all know. We are the target. We are the enemy. And it's time to wake up. Vincent?
Mike, did you experience something akin to a SWAT-like raid on your farm?
Right. Back in February the 14th, I was on the way out of town, going back over to, as we discussed before, preserve and make sure that the materials that I was getting secured for your barn weren't taken. Even though there's a foot of snow over there in Fayetteville, Arkansas, this stuff is so good, it's so cheap. People will go out in the middle of a snowstorm, so they raided the farm. And
tell you what, Mike, hold that thought till after this short commercial announcement break, and tell us what happened with this SWAT-like raid. Who was there? Were lights, action, camera there? Was this ready for TV? Were they going to show you as the bad guy? Tell us what happened when we come back, please. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
America, what will it take for you to finally recognize that we're facing a major financial problem today? How high does our debt have to go? How far do stock prices have to fall? How many more times must Congress raise the debt ceiling? How many more trillions does the Fed need to print out of thin air? How much bigger must the wealth gap between rich and poor get? How much longer does the Fed need to manipulate interest rates? Wake up, America. The facts are simple. We can't afford our debts, and we can't stop printing or borrowing money. So, we're going to see a massive monetary crisis like nothing in history. Don't believe government officials or mainstream media who tell you everything's okay. Get the facts. Go online to www.defendmymoney3.com. Learn how to protect yourself. Go to www.defendmymoney3.com. That's defendmymoney3.com.
Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viva Water Pump Kit from Viva Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viva Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99. Filter not included. Get your Viva Water Pump Kit at VIBA-ODP.com from Viva Outdoor Products.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using the computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly, certified computer repair experts available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682. 1-800-591-1682.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Class, this is one of the most important broadcasts that we've ever done. I request that you share this with your friends and family. They just will not believe what they're hearing. Mike Parsons is with us. Mike, we have Tom in Maryland on the line, but so I'd like to split the rest of the time. Yes.
Can I make just
tell us about
one real quick brief statement? Because my time is short here. The show is short. Right now, I'm out on an $85,000 bond, which I had to put up 10% of, and literally, my wife spent every penny we had to come up with $4,500. The bonding lady was gracious enough to get me out. I still owe $4,500 and change to her. I'm not looking for donations. I'm looking to do this if I can sell off some things that I've got or get a loan or whatever. My website is mikeparsons.org. If anybody is interested in helping on this effort, please let me know. Effectively, I go to court in 3 days on Friday, and the bond lady, if I haven't satisfied her with my ability to repay her, I may get put back in jail. So we just wanted to touch on that, and also I wanted to mention that, as I mentioned to you, the fact is that when you're gone to jail and you have a farm or other obligations, and your wife and whoever you leave behind picks up the slack, things don't get done. And when I come home and I find it's so much that wasn't able to get done, then I'm not only in work mode to keep myself out of jail and get this remedied, I'm also required to take responsibility for my family, my animals, my farm, and that takes a lot. My phone bill was $2,700. Unexpectedly, I was able to get AT&T to take care of that. Mrs. Parsons, they weren't going to listen to her. In 5 minutes, they said, "Certainly, Mr. Parsons, you've been with us since 1980. Obviously, you wouldn't have made these calls to Canada had you didn't realize you didn't have a calling plan to cover it." So they corrected that.
Mike, very quickly, did you have a SWAT type raid on your farm?
Yes, and if you go to December 1st, yes.
Okay. Next, Tom in Maryland, very quickly. We're running out of time.
I'll make it real quick. Vince, I hope you do another show with Mr. Parsons. I hope he's free in the next couple of weeks to do another show with you. I'll pray for you, Mr. Parsons. I wish you all the luck. And I can attest to what you're telling the audience today. I spent a career in law enforcement. I've spoken with Vince before about how the courts are playing with the law, playing with jurisdictions, how they're switching jurisdictions during the trial. I wish it was as simple as a chess game, like you said. However, they don't have the rules that we can play by and be assured that they're playing by the same rules. It's as if they're dealing from a blackjack deck of 5 different shoes, and you never know what's coming. You really have a hard time, anyone does, keeping up with their shenanigans. And that's why the courtroom is a dangerous, dangerous place. And I hope you utilize all of your knowledge and help that you can get from other people in order to get out of really what is a terroristic type of situation, because people are terrorized, they're victimized, and the courtrooms should not be that way. I blame statute law You know, we've gotten wrapped up in a lot of legislation where Vince asked you if you were a criminal. I would suggest that all of us in this society probably are criminals if you go by the basic definition of what a criminal is. We used to tell people, listen, ignorance of the law is no excuse. I told my supervisor one
Tom, we're out of time. I really appreciate your call. I'd like you to call back, even if Mike Parsons is not on the air with us. Let's have some more discussion about this. Thank you so much for calling in. Mike Parsons, quick question for you. Will you be, if you're available, meaning not in jail or prison, will you come back?
I will.
Mike, I look forward to spending some time with you in person and, of course, on the air. Our prayers go with you. Class, this is absolutely real. There's no embellishment here. Please share this with friends and family. Mike, thank you. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.